Good morning, friends. Okay, so we will start with a module called settlement geography. Okay, so we know geography is primarily concerned with the surface of Earth and the various things which are on the surface of Earth. Okay, so there are physical things and there are human-made or man-made things. So humans reside on the surface, or humans live on the surface by creating settlements. So that is, we'll be having houses or a collection of houses, and you can see we we live in settlements. Okay, now settlements can be broadly divided into those associated with the rural areas, rural settlements, as well as those that you can see in the urban areas, urban settlement. Okay, so this is what we are going to study in detail, so I'll give you all the details. So settlement is primarily about human dwellings. Okay, so the houses and associated buildings and buildings we construct for our living. Okay, so it is divided into rural and urban. That's the primary basic thing. So we need to study in detail about both of these two types of settlements. Okay, now where does settlement comes in the syllabus? So in paper 1, you have got the 8th module called the population and settlement. So there you have got settlement. Okay, so population, it's the module is population and settlement. So there you have got settlement. Then in paper 2, 7th module is settlement. Okay, so this is Indian settlement. So this is roughly 1.5 module. Okay, so 1 module from paper 2 and half module from paper 1. So let us basically understand the premise in which we are trying to study this. Okay. So settlements is nothing but any form of dwelling. Okay, so human habitations are called settlements. Okay, or human dwellings. Okay, in simple terms, it's houses. Okay, so this is what is called settlement. Now you can find broadly two type of settlements. One is, you can find two type of settlements. One is unstable settlements. Or a better term is, or a simple term is, temporary settlements. Okay, so some settlements are made up of temporary things. Okay, so it's not constructed for say standing for longer duration. You can find in some tribal settlements and all, these settlements are of temporary nature. So such settlements are called unstable settlements. Now this accounts for only 3% of total population. Okay, so of the total population of the human beings on the surface of Earth, only 3% live in such unstable settlements. Now this is not an area of our discussion. Okay, now our discussion is about stable settlements. Okay. Stable settlements or permanent settlements. Permanent settlements. Now, most of us live in such type of settlements. Now, the permanent settlements can be divided into, as we discussed, the rural and the urban settlements. The rural and urban settlements. And urban settlements. Okay. So this is what we are going to discuss in this particular module about rural and urban settlements. Now, we'll first see what is the basic difference between these two types of settlements. Then what we are going to see is, then we'll see the study plan for this module. So what are the things we are going to see in this particular module in detail? Then we'll start with the first parts. Okay. So rural and urban settlements. What is the basic difference between these two types of settlements? Rural settlement, urban settlement. See, the basic difference is So there are a lot of differences between these two types of settlements. And these differences are actually coming from the occupation, the difference in the occupation of the people. Okay, so one is associated with agriculture and agricultural activities. Okay, so there are many agricultural activities. So it includes, basically, when we talk about agriculture, we tend to think that we are talking only about farming. Okay, so farming is agriculture. Okay, so crop farming. But in addition to crop farming, livestock rearing, fishing, forestry. Okay, so these are all uh, 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 like something related to agriculture and allied activities. Okay, so all these activities are done in a rural settlement. Okay, so these are the major occupations of people living in rural settlements. Now, the basic nature of all these activities is that they are all land intensive activities. Okay, so these are all land intensive activities. That is, for you to ensure a decent living from these activities, you need huge land. Okay, so you need maybe, so in current context in Kerala, I don't know whether you can have a good standard of living even if you have a 5 or 10 acre land. Okay, so even from a 10 acre land, probably it's difficult for you to have a good standard of living. So that means a family should be having at least 10 acre to have a decent living. Okay, so it can vary in different parts. Sometimes it may be higher than that. But for fishing, you need water body, huge water body. Okay, right. For forestry, you need forest spanning over large area. Okay, livestock rearing, you need again land because you need to supply like the fodder and the food items to the animals. For that, you need again a lot of land. So these are land intensive activities. Now, because these are land intensive activities, you can see that as they are very land intensive activities, you can see that the density of population will be relatively low when it comes to the rural settlements. Okay, so rural settlements have a low density of population. Low density of population. Okay, so in the areas of rural settlements, you will have low density of population, or the size of rural settlement, okay, is relatively smaller settlements. Okay, in terms of the population size of the settlement, a rural settlement will be having a smaller number. The total number of people living in a village will be less compared to an urban area. So we'll see why. Very basic thing. Okay. Now, what about the urban settlements? What about urban settlements? Okay. Urban settlements, on the other hand, are associated with what type of activities? Occupation will be industrial or service sector activities. Now, industries and service sector activities are not land intensive activities. Okay, not land intensive in comparison to the activities we discussed earlier. Say, for example, if you have a 10-acre land and you have established a factory, how many people you can employ there? But how many people? Maybe 1,000. Okay. But what about a 10-acre agricultural land? 2, 3. Okay. So that makes the difference between the urban and rural settlement, because this is not land intensive. It requires, okay, it does not require like huge land area to support activities. You can actually like you can actually means do a lot of activities in a smaller piece of land. Okay, a small piece of land will be useful for a lot of activities. Okay, now this makes a situation where you can find high density of population in a urban settlement. Now, when there is high density of population, it will lead to a situation where you have got a large settlement. Okay, so large settlements are a basic feature of urban settlements. Okay, so this is the basic idea about the rural and urban settlements. Now we need to go and see in detail about all these like various things we need to study about both these type of settlements. Okay, now we'll look into the study plan. What are the things we are going to study here? Okay, so what we saw was a short introduction. So intro we are done with. Now we are going to see urban settlements. Okay, so we'll be looking into urban and rural settlements. So first we'll see urban settlements. Now in urban settlements, there are certain theories. Okay, so models and theories. There are certain theories associated with urban settlements. Now, first you have got a theory called rank size rule. Rank size rule. Rank size rule. Then you have got a theory called primate city. Okay. Then there are theories about urban morphology. Urban morphology. Then central place theory. Central place theory. Sphere of urban influence. Sphere of urban influence. Sphere of urban influence. Classification of classification, function classification of towns. Functional classification of towns. Okay, so this is not a theory, so you can write. Okay. Then you have got concepts related to very large urban areas like conurbation, metropolitan areas. Okay. Lastly, we'll look into the concept of urbanization. Okay, so these are the things we will be studying in urban settlements. Okay, so we'll have more detailed understanding while we study each of them. Then you have got rural settlements. Rural settlements. So rural settlements, we will be studying comparatively less because it's, say, so relatively, the features of the rural settlements are almost similar throughout the world. So you don't have that much diversity or multiple concepts coming as in the case of an urban settlement. So rural settlement, we'll be studying about three things: types, patterns, and morphology. Okay, so these are the three things we need to study about rural settlements: the types of rural settlements, patterns of rural settlements, and morphology of rural settlement. Okay, so you can see from the syllabus itself, you can understand that urban settlements are more important than rural settlement. Why is it so? More than 50% of the world population lives in urban settlements, plus more and more are going in that direction only. Okay, so in every country, this is the direction. Okay, so in most of the developed world, you can see that 85 to 90% of the population lives in the urban areas. In the developing world, it might be 50% or less, but still more and more are going towards urban settlements. Okay, so we'll start with urban settlements. See, So these theories are about different aspects of urban related like analysis. Okay, urban settlement related analysis. Now, rank size rule and primate city is about the relationship between towns and cities in a particular region, in a particular country. Okay, what is the relationship between with respect to the size? Okay, so what is the size? What is the relation between the first, the largest city and the second largest city, or second largest city and the third largest city? So that is about the rank size rule. Rank size rule about the hierarchy of cities in a particular region or a country. Then these two are about hierarchy. Urban morphology is studying about the internal structure of a city. Okay, so in which part of the city you can find the commercial hub, the market, the main market of a city, where you can find different types of residences. Okay, so within a city you can find, say in a large city you can find residences of industrial workers, residences of like upper middle class, high class, because it can be at different places. In large cities, you can find certain areas for industries. Okay, so this difference, how in a city, how within a city, these things are arranged. That's what is called morphology. Okay. Now, central place theory. Central place theory is actually about how the occupations change, how the activities change as the distance from a city increases. It's not purely about cities. It also includes rural areas. Say you can see that if imagine a case of Kochi. Okay, so Kochi. Okay, so in the core part of the Kochi, there will be commercial activities, some residential activities, so residential buildings, all those things will be there. But as you move a little away, maybe some set of activities will become more prominent. Okay, so maybe this is an area where all the real estate agents are doing a lot of speculations and all the selling and buying and all those things will be happening. Okay, there will be some other activities there. Okay, then as you go outside, probably slowly it will become purely rural. Okay, so how this transition happens, that's the concept of central place theory. Okay, so we'll be trying to understand how the occupations can be influenced by a city. Okay, very close to the city you may not find forestry. Okay, so people engaged in forestry activity, something like that, there is less chance. Okay, or very close to cities you may not find people leaving their land without any economic activity, because this land has got huge value. Okay, so they will not be keeping it idle. Okay, so this is the concept of central place theory. Then sphere of urban influence. Sphere of urban influence is simple. Anybody from Kayangulam? Okay, anybody from Tiruvalla? Okay, so which city you prefer, Ernakulam or Tirunelveli? Okay, anybody from Adur? Which city you prefer? Ernakulam? Okay, എൻ്റെ തീരെ പോയി. Anybody from Kottarakara? Anybody from any part of Kollam? Okay, which city you prefer, Tirunelveli or Ernakulam? Tirunelveli. Okay, so the sphere of urban influence is somewhere between. There are two cities. If you take two cities, somewhere between these two cities, people switch their preference. Okay, so the question is, how much is the influence of Ernakulam? How much is the influence of Tirunelveli? We can do the same with respect to Tirunelveli and Kozhikode also. Okay, anybody from Palakkad? Which city you prefer? Ernakulam. Okay. Anybody from Malappuram? Which city you prefer? Calicut. Okay, so somewhere in that area, okay, somewhere in Thrissur, Malappuram border, somewhere there is a transition happening that people will. So that's the concept of influence. Now, if the city is very large, sometimes its influence will be, it may not be at the half point. Okay, if two cities are almost same size and same influence, at the midpoint that transition should happen. But if one city is more influential, maybe it will attract more people. Okay, so the other city will lose its area for the bigger city. So this is the concept of sphere of urban influence. Then functional classification of towns is simple. Okay, so we classify towns on the basis.
Is it related to migration? It's a sphere of urban influence.
Not related to migration. Sphere of urban influence means you are from West Bengal, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay. You're from Siliguri? No?
So near to Siliguri.
Okay. So which city you prefer? Like, which is your city of preference? Kolkata or something else?
Sir, in terms of development, if I say, sir, yes, Kolkata, because that's much more developed than the place where I stay, sir.
Okay. So, like, Kolkata is too big, so I cannot make a comparison. Um, so the concept is like this, like, say, I will tell you in a, so if you are from UP, Bihar, okay. So you have got two big cities on the western side, you have got Delhi, eastern side, you have got Kolkata. Okay, so where is the transition point? Okay, so I think people of Bihar will prefer coming to Kolkata as a very large city, but people of most of the UP will be going
Delhi.
towards Delhi. Okay, probably in somewhere in the eastern UP, that transition is happening. At least a portion of eastern UP is actually preferring Kolkata. Okay, so that's the sphere of influence. Okay, so that is like how much large area your city is having as your influential area. Okay. And some global cities has got the world as their influential area. Okay, so for example, New York
Okay,
or
sir.
London or so such cities has the global. They have got global influence. Okay. So that's also there. We'll study about that. Okay. This is the concept of sphere of urban influence. Then function classification of cities is simple. You can classify cities based on their primary function. Munnar, what type of town is that? It's a tourist town. Manipal, educational town. Okay. So Manipal is, you know about Manipal, right? Manipal, you know Manipal, right?
Yes, sir.
It's okay. So Manipal is an educational town, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Similarly, you can find military towns. You can find some places which are very much famous for health services. Some are collection centers. Okay, so mining towns or mining towns or forestry, say towns related to forest activities. Okay, so there primarily the materials are coming and it will be distributed. So such towns are called collection towns. So this is the concept of function classification. And can you find a specific function for a very large city? For a very large city, it is multifunctional. Okay, you cannot say that this is an educational town. So Tirunelveli, it's an administrative town, it's an IT hub, it's an educational hub. Okay, at least three primary things. Okay, maybe in future if things go well, it will be a port city. Okay, we don't know. Okay, so but Kolkata, if you look, Kolkata has got too many functions. Okay, beyond this, it might be probably the health hub of the Eastern India. It might be the transportation hub of Eastern India. It is the port city of Eastern India. Okay, so like it will be multifunctional. Okay, but smaller towns you can find that some function may dominate. That is the concept of function classification. Then conurbation metropolitan areas. Conurbation is nothing but, say, if there are two cities, okay, maybe of equal size or smaller size, the cities will grow into each other and they finally become a single urban area. Okay, so they might be falling under different units with respect to the urban governance, but they are now a single urban agglomeration. Kochi and Alua and all those things. Okay, Kochi municipality, sorry, Kochi corporation. Then you have got the Kochi urban agglomeration. You just got so many municipalities and so many even panchayats. Okay, but now for an outsider, you don't say that like you don't say that okay, I will do only shopping in Kochi corporation. You can't do that, right? Or I will buy something like that. Okay, so the concept is, in fact, originally these two areas were having their own independent identities. Okay, early Kochi corporation was separated from Alua municipality. Now both of them have grown towards each other and now they have become a very large urban area. Okay, so this is the concept of urban, say this is the concept of conurbation. Okay, so then urbanization, the basic concept of more and more people going towards urban areas and associated issues. So this is what we are going to study in urban settlements. Okay, let us start with rank size rule. Rank size rule. Okay, so these are, most of them are very simple concept. Rank size rule. Okay, so it's also very interesting, simple concept. So the rank size rule is about the hierarchy of cities. Okay, or we can also say size and hierarchy of cities in a region or country. So this rule will give you an idea about the hierarchy of cities in a particular region. Okay, you can take a state or a country or any region for that matter. Now, it simply says like this. The principle is very simple. Population of the nth largest city of a country is equal to population of the largest city divided by n. Okay, the principle is very simple. Say, for example, population of the second largest city is equal to population of the largest city divided by 2. Okay, that is the population of the second largest city will be half of the largest city of a country. Okay, what will be P3? P3 will be P1 by 3, that is 1/3 of the largest city. P4 will be 1/4 of the largest city. This is a very simple concept. This is called the rank size rule. Okay, so it gives you an idea about the size as well as hierarchy of cities in a particular country or a region. Now, this theory was given by a person called Sif. SIPF in the year 1949. Okay, so this is very, very simple. Okay, the concept of rank size rule. Now, we need to, the question will be an analytical question. Okay, whether it's applicable, whether it's applicable in the real sense. Now, is it applicable in India? No. Okay, so India is too big to fall within this theory. Is it applicable in China? No. Normally, it is not applicable in very large countries like India and China with huge population, where you will be having multiple cities of almost same population. Okay, so if you compare Chennai, Hyderabad, and Bangalore, all of them are almost same size. Okay, they are also the third, fourth, and fifth largest cities of India. Okay, so the third, fourth, and fifth largest cities of India don't have a difference in the population or influence or size. Not too much. Okay, what is the largest city of India? Okay, so Delhi is the largest city in terms of population. This is in terms of population. Okay, so Delhi, in multiple sources, you can find multiple population. So Delhi is currently considered as the second largest urban agglomeration in the world. Second largest urban agglomeration in the world. Which is the largest? Huh? Which is the largest in terms of population? No, New York can be in the terms of influence. Tokyo. Okay, so Tokyo is the largest urban agglomeration in the world in terms of population. It has got a population of 3.7 crore, more than the population of Kerala. Okay. Okay, so that big is Tokyo. So Delhi is not behind. So in many sources, we can find Delhi has a population equal to or more than 3 crore. Okay, so again, close to Kerala's population. He lives in Delhi urban agglomeration. It's not just Delhi, the Delhi UT, all the surrounding areas. Okay, so you have got many surrounding cities: Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, Gurgaon, Faridabad. Okay, so these are all parts of Delhi. Okay, so altogether, in many sources, it says it has got a population of 3.4 crore. Okay, then Mumbai. Mumbai has a population of around 2.5 crore, close to 2.5 crore. Then you have got Kolkata with around 1.5 crore. So this is slightly on the upper hand side. Okay. So I have taken the say the populations which are higher. Okay. Then you have got cities. Okay. So I am for historical justice. I am keeping Chennai as the fourth largest city, but it may not be the case. Chennai, Bengaluru, and Hyderabad. Okay. So almost all of them have got almost 1 crore population. Okay. So this is the case of India. Fine. So this is for India. So in India, you can see that it is this theory, this principle is not applicable. Now, where is it applicable? Now, it is applicable in probably in countries, in relatively large countries, but not as large as India and China, with more mature urban settlements. Okay, so longer duration of urbanization, modern urbanization. Now, one classic example where we consider that this theory is applicable is US. Okay, so in US we say that this theory is applicable because which is the largest city of US in terms of population? New York. Okay, so New York has a population of around 2 crore, and which is the second largest city? Los Angeles. Los Angeles has a population of around 1.2 crore. Third largest city of US? Chicago. Okay, it has got a population of around 80 lakhs. Okay. Miami. 0.6. Okay, so here, so for rank size rule, you can tell that it is applicable in US. Okay, so US, New York has a population of roughly 2 crore. Los Angeles has 1.2 crore. Chicago has a population of 0.8 crore, that is 80 lakhs. Miami has a population of 60 lakhs. Now, usually UPSC will be asking mostly about the developing countries. Because in developing country, where is it applicable? In developing countries, where can you apply this theory? Where can you apply this one? Now, in developing countries, you can see that we'll study in this theory itself. There are certain deviations from the theory. So in developing countries, you can see this situation. Most of the developing countries of medium size having a colonial history will have domination of a single city. So usually that will be the capital city, port city, and everything. Okay, educational hub, whatever. Okay. So take the case of Malaysia. Okay, do you know any other city in Malaysia other than Kuala Lumpur? Okay. What about Philippines? What about Indonesia? What about Bangladesh? So usually you will be knowing only one city, and that will be so dominant city. You will not be even knowing the second largest city of that particular country. Okay. So that is a deviation. So most of the colonial, most of the developing countries having a colonial history and of medium size will not fall under rank size rule. Okay. That these cities have a domination by a single city. Now, from the developing countries, you can give two examples where this principle is largely applicable. One is South Africa. South Africa. Now, South Africa's largest city is Johannesburg, with a population of around 90 lakhs. Second largest city is Cape Town. Cape Town, with a population of 40 lakhs. Third largest city is Durban. But there it is coming closer. Okay. Obviously, you cannot expect it to be exactly falling as per the theory. Pretoria. Okay, so roughly we say that this theory is applicable in South Africa. Another developing country where it is applicable is Brazil. Brazil. What is the spelling of Sao Paulo? SAO PAULO. Okay. So it has got a population of 120 lakhs. So this is the largest. This is the largest city in Southern Hemisphere, Sao Paulo. Okay. So this is the largest city in the world. Okay. So this is the largest city of Southern Hemisphere, proper Southern Hemisphere. So some cities are close to the equator, like we are not including them. Then you have got Rio de Janeiro, second largest city. Okay, so Rio de Janeiro has a population of around 70 lakhs. Okay, so even Brasilia has a population of around 30 lakhs. Okay, so it's roughly following. It's not proper again. It's roughly following this particular principle. So we got an idea about this concept of rank size rule. It says that Pn equal to P1 by n. That is, the population of the nth largest city will be P1 by, so the largest city by n. Okay, so it gives an idea that the second largest will be half of the largest city, third will be 1/3, fourth will be 1/4. Likewise, it will go down. Okay, so it is applicable in US, it is applicable in South Africa, it is applicable in Brazil. It is not applicable in India. Okay. Now, the theory says about two deviations. Okay, so there can be possibility for two type of deviation. Primary deviation. Okay, and secondary deviation. Primary deviation and secondary deviation. So primary deviation is the case where P1 or P1 by P2. P1 by P2 is more than, okay, so P1 by P2 is actually bigger than 2. Okay, that is the largest city is much bigger than double the size of second largest city. Then what will be this case? P1 by P2 will be less than 2. That is, there is the difference between P1 and P2 is less. Okay, the largest city and second largest city has almost not same, but closer population. Okay. Now, so this is primary deviation. So you can find many cities, many countries falling under this group, or many. So you can do the analysis for states also. Okay, in Indian states you can do the analysis. So there also you can see that this deviation is very common. Now, let us do an analysis for Indian states. Where all this principle is applicable? P1 by P2 greater than 2. So in all our neighboring, in Kerala's case, neighboring states of most of the South Indian states, this is applicable. So which is the second largest city of Telangana? Tell me. Okay, tell me the second largest city of Telangana. Huh? Kurnool. Okay. Probably Kurnool. I don't know. Okay, because I only know Hyderabad. Okay, which is second largest city of Karnataka? Probably it is Mysore. So in most of the many states of India, this principle is applicable. That is primary deviation. So this largest city is much bigger than the double the size of second largest city, or probably 3 or 4 or 5 times bigger than the second largest city. Okay. So Karnataka, large cities Bengaluru has a population of 1 crore. 1 crore. While the second largest city is Mysore, which is having only a population of 10 lakhs. Okay, so what about Tamil Nadu? Tamil Nadu's largest city is Chennai, with a population of 1 crore, which is second largest city of Tamil Nadu. Which is second largest city of Tamil Nadu. Okay, you should tell. Coimbatore. Okay, so Coimbatore has a population of 20 lakhs. Okay. 20 lakhs. So here, this is primary deviation. Okay, so you can give more examples. West Bengal. Okay. West Bengal is again primary deviation. Kolkata, largest city. Okay. Moni Deepa, tell me the second largest city of West Bengal. Do you know?
Sir, most probably, sir, it is Siliguri.
No,
Most
Siliguri
probably.
is your district. Okay, Asansol.
No, it's not my district.
Like it is Asansol.
Asansol.
Yeah. Siliguri is very big.
Sir, it's not a district, sir, but in terms of development, sir, it is, sir, in northern part of Bengal, it is the most developed one.
Okay, fine. Okay, so as per my understanding, it is Asansol. Okay, so Asansol is an industrial city in southwestern West Bengal. Okay, so you have got. So this has around 30 lakhs population. Asansol. Okay. Now, let us look into the secondary deviation. Secondary deviation is a case where the largest city and the second largest city are close to each other. Tell me some examples. So you can tell from states. Maharashtra has Mumbai domination. Kerala. Secondary deviation, we can tell the example of Kerala. Okay. Kerala with Cochin, TVM, CLT, Calicut. Okay. I think I'll write Kochi, Thiruvananthapuram, and Kozhikode. Okay. So Kerala is a place where this theory is not properly applicable. It is secondary deviation you can witness here. Then, which other state you can give? Gujarat has got the domination. Yeah, Surat is also close by.
UP.
UP. You can tell UP. You can tell. I think Gujarat is also correct. UP, you have got Lucknow, Kanpur. Okay, so Kanpur is not half of Lucknow. Lucknow is the largest, but the difference is less. Then I think Gujarat is also probably true with Ahmedabad and Surat. Both of them are very large cities. Okay. Punjab. Okay, Punjab, you don't have any big cities, in fact. Okay, it's similar to Kerala. Okay, but like, Kerala has at least 2-3 cities. But Tamil, the Punjab cities, because of the Chandigarh being the capital, Chandigarh being a large city, you don't have big cities in Punjab. So Punjab has got Ludhiana. Ludhiana is the largest city within the Punjab state, and Amritsar. Okay, so this is the concept of secondary deviation. Andhra Pradesh, yes. Currently, Andhra Pradesh, probably again, Andhra Pradesh. Visakhapatnam and Vijayawada. Okay, so Vijayawada, Guntur region. Okay, so Visakhapatnam is the largest city of Andhra Pradesh, but Vijayawada is close by. Okay, so because it lost Hyderabad, now there is no very dominant cities. Okay, so in Andhra Pradesh. Okay, in Madhya Pradesh, you have got Bhopal and Indore. Indore is the largest city, so it's Indore and Bhopal. Okay, so this is the concept of secondary deviation. So in terms of size and hierarchy of cities, you have got this theory called rank size rule, we got an understanding about which are the countries where this is applicable, which are the countries where this is not applicable. Okay, so it has got two type of deviation. Either it is primary deviation, where the largest city will be much bigger than the second largest city, much bigger, more than double. Then you have got secondary deviation, where cities will be having similar populations. Okay, so you can represent this with the help of a graph. So this is population. Rank. Okay. The rank size rule will be something like this. A straight line. Okay. Smaller the rank, or okay, so higher will be the population. Now you can represent primary deviation like this. Primary deviation. So here we can see, suppose this is the largest city, probably this might be the second largest city. Okay. So population size difference is not half. Okay. Now we can find secondary deviation. The largest city, second largest city. Okay. Closer population. Secondary deviation. Okay. Now, in addition to these two, probably you can also see something like this. You can also see something like this. Maybe the population of the second largest city will be closer to the third largest. Then there will be a sudden dip. Then again a closer. Okay. So this is also possible. Okay. So this is called stepped order pattern. Step order pattern. Okay. So few cities, maybe one or two cities will be almost same size. Suddenly, that set of cities and the next city, the difference will be high. Okay. Where can you find such examples? Mumbai, say in case of India, Mumbai and Delhi as the two dominant cities. Okay. So after that, in terms of influence and all, if you look, Kolkata's influence is not comparable with the influence of Mumbai and Delhi in terms of economy, in terms of business, political influence and all. Okay. So in terms of population, probably close by, but so that's the concept. Okay. So sometimes there will be two cities of same size or two or more cities of same size. Then with the next city, there will be a huge gap. Okay. Then there will be a group of cities there. Then another. Now you need to understand this idea of largest city, the relationship between cities are all dynamic. It can change. Okay. So if you go back in time, okay, so into the early periods of British colonization in India, which was the largest city. Okay, so before Kolkata, probably it was Madras. Then it was Kolkata. Then it was Mumbai. Now it is Delhi. Okay, so it can keep changing. Okay, it can keep on changing. Now, for example, earlier Chennai was so dominant in South India. Okay, so others were considered as towns in front of Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore. Okay. But now Hyderabad and Bangalore are as large as Chennai, and probably tomorrow it may overtake Chennai. Okay, so Chennai has this domination for 400 years, but it might be, or at least 300 years. Okay, but it may lose it. Okay, in the future. Okay. Now you can see that inland cities have an added advantage because inland cities can grow in all directions. But coastal cities has this restriction, but where it can grow only in land side, only towards the land side. So this actually restrict the growth of cities like Mumbai, Chennai in comparison to internal cities like, though they are not, like the internal cities cannot be port cities, but still Bangalore, Hyderabad, and like Delhi has more potential to growth because they are located inland and it can grow in all directions, 360 degree. Okay, while Chennai can grow only in 180 degree, Mumbai can only grow in 180 degree. Okay, so that actually restrict the growth of cities like coastal cities. Okay, now the next concept is actually something which we already saw, primate city concept. Primate city. So this is the concept of the most dominant city in a urban hierarchy. Now, this concept was actually this single concept. As a single concept, this was given before SIF by a person called Mark Jefferson. Mark Jefferson in 1939. Okay. In simple terms, it's the most dominant city in our urban hierarchy, which dominates or overshadows every other cities. And probably in many cases, you will not even know the second largest city. So that will be the dominance of the primate city. Now, so as we have mentioned, in many of the colonial countries, okay, of medium size, or probably in even in non-colonial medium-sized countries, we can see these dominant cities. Okay, so classic examples are. Okay, so take the case of classic examples: Bangladesh, Dhaka. Okay, so you don't know the second largest city of Bangladesh. Chittagong may not be. I don't know. Chittagong is a port city, but I don't think. I think it's something else. Sri Lanka, Colombo. Okay. Then Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur. Then Philippines. Manila. Indonesia, Jakarta. Okay. So even in developed countries, sometimes you can see domination of one city. Okay, so London has a domination in UK. Okay, London. Similarly, in France, do you know the second largest city of France? You don't know any other. Probably you may not be knowing any other cities from France. Okay, so Paris. Okay. So in some developed countries also, you can see this phenomenon. Even in non-colonial countries, like even in Thailand, Bangkok. Okay, so Thailand was never colonized, but still it has got a. Okay, so this way you can see in certain medium-sized cities, the countries, especially of colonial past, you can see domination of one city. Many cases, these are also port cities. This acted as their colonial capital, and slowly this city dominated the scene with respect to all activities, all functions, whether it's educational, health, finances, banking, everywhere you can see their domination. And many times the second largest city will be so insignificant in these countries. So this is the concept of primate city. Now, this is not considered something good because it will lead to backwardness, backward regional disparities. Okay, so only some part of the country will be developed, and too much resources will be allocated to this large city, like draining the resources of other parts, or denying the resource distribution for other parts of the country. So in fact, countries should try to balance their growth, try to create more cities. Okay, so in fact, China has done that largely, because there are many cities of China, very large cities of China, you have never heard of. Okay, because in the last 30, 40 years, China has ensured that there is decentralization and deconcentration. Okay, so it was actually focused on Beijing and Shanghai. So sorry, Shanghai. They actually tried to expand it to many other cities. Okay, you have got many cities in China which developed much faster compared to Beijing and Shanghai. Okay, and India's case, two cities fall under such examples: Bangalore and Hyderabad. Okay, the growth of Hyderabad and Bangalore was phenomenal. Okay, so it grew into a metropolitan city within 20, 30 years. Okay, so you go back to 1990s. Okay, so all the Telugu film stars were staying in Chennai. Okay, just like Malayalam and everybody else of South India. And Hyderabad was considered as a town. Okay, in 90s and earlier, with relatively small population like Tirunduram. Okay, maybe obviously bigger than Tirunduram, but a small town. Okay. So this is the concept of primate city. Now let us have a basic understanding about the next concept called the urban hierarchy. So urban hierarchy. So urban hierarchy is about urban morphology. Urban morphology. Urban morphology is about the internal structure of a city with respect to different land uses, like commercial, residential, industrial, etc. Okay, so what is the structure of cities with respect to placing of these activities? How are these activities placed in a city? For people from Kerala or people from India, you don't find this internal or urban morphology in Indian cities. Indian cities are we have got multiple land use coming together. Okay, so you will have a situation where the ground floor will be a shop, first floor will be the house. Okay, so I have let's say in many cases you can see like first floor will be shops, second floor will be school. Okay, so that also can happen. Okay, or maybe a coaching institute or whatever. Okay, so the multiple land use is actually common in India. So you may not be able to understand this concept if you look at Indian cities. So let us look into some of the models which are there. So there are three major or traditional models associated with urban morphology. One is called concentric model. Okay. Second is sectoral model. Third is multi-nuclei model. Okay, so probably you can connect with multi-nuclei model. A city with multiple nucleus. Okay, so multiple places which are considered as centers of the city. Okay. So we will start with concentric model. Concentric model. Now, concentric model is a very old model. Okay, so this model came up in the year 1925, and this was provided by two people, E.W. Burgess and Robert Park. Robert Park. And they came up with this theory by looking into or analyzing the Chicago city of 1925, okay, of US. Now, the theory is very, very simple and also very basic, like too basic, too primitive, if I say. Principle, the model is very simple. Okay. The model concentric, right? Concentric model. So it will be a collection of concentric circles. Okay, it will be a collection of concentric circles, each circle belonging to different land use. Okay. So okay, the model is very, very simple. It's a collection of concentric circles. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. The model says that a city will be the city's internal structure, the morphology will be like this. Now, 1, it says, is central business district or CBD. Okay, so the theory says that first circle, the center, at the center of the city, you can find something called central business district. Okay, so this concept, I say in India, this is a Western concept. Okay, so in India, like some of the colonial cities have got this this concept of CBD. Okay, so this used to be the center of the city earlier. Say, for example, Connaught Place, CP, Delhi. Chennai, Anna Sale. Okay, what is the English name of Anna Sale? Old name, Mount Road. Okay, Mount Road, Chennai. Okay. The current name is Anna Sale. Probably that is considered as the CBD. Okay, probably. Okay, in Thiruvananthapuram, though it may not be proper, but still. What can be the CBD of Thiruvananthapuram? Huh? East Fort. Okay, so all the buses and all to East Fort. Okay, so it's a commercial center. Okay, CBD means central business. Okay, so it's not about industries. It's not about residences. It's a place where most of the commercial activities or the business happens. Okay, so like earlier probably. So today, Kerkekota or East Fort is not the center of Thiruvananthapuram, but earlier probably it was the center, and most of the commercial activities, businesses, and everything was centered over there. Okay, so probably in earlier times. Okay, maybe in 1950s, if you want to buy cloth, you'll go to East Fort. Okay, so if you want to buy everything, you go there. Okay. So, Kolkata, do you know the CBD of Kolkata?
Sir, I'm not sure, sir. Sir, I think it is the Howrah region, sir. That is the Boro Bazaar region or the College Street, most popularly known as.
Okay, fine. Okay, so you got the concept, right? The center where
So
the
yes, sir.
businesses
The
happen.
business activities are taking place.
Yes, yes. Okay. So you can see that this is the business area of a city or commercial area. Okay, so mostly it is commercial activities which is happening there. Other things are mostly absent. Now, it will be also because it is the center of the city in very large cities, very large metropolitan cities and all, you can find headquarters of MNCs. Okay, and banks and other and big institutions. So you go there. Okay, so you go to the CBDs of cities. You can see. Okay, so probably the headquarters of MNCs, headquarters have probably you go to the Mumbai CBD. So I don't know, but I'm telling. So probably you will find the headquarters of ICICI Bank, SBI. You will find the headquarters of Reliance, Ambani, okay, Tata. Okay, you will find the headquarters of all the big corporates of India in the CBD. Okay. Then all big institutions, like say, for example, big institutions, like even government institutions, LIC. Okay. So such very big institutions headquarters will be here. Then what are the characteristics? There will be very high rent. Very high rent. Okay. The land has the highest value. This is in a city, the highest valued land will be located here. The highest valued land will be located here. So in general, we say there is no residences. No residences, no industries. Okay, so there will not be any industries or residences in this part. Okay. Now it has got a feature. It will be vacant during the night because there is nobody living there. Okay. So at night, it will be only full of watchmen. Okay. So for every MNCs, every shop, you'll find only watchmen. Okay. So nobody will be coming there because night, nothing will be open. Okay. So night, it goes to almost standstill or like vacant condition. So this is central business district. Next is zone of transition. Zone 2, zone of transition or zone in transition. Zone in transition. Now this is the areas where you can find transition to residential areas. So these areas you can find warehouses of the CBDs. Okay, so CBDs has got, like, you cannot store everything there because the rent is very high. So a shop might be having a warehouse in the neighboring place. Okay, in the zone in transition. Similarly, there will be some light manufacturing. Manufacturing will be there. And this used to be the old industrial area. Okay, so old industrial area in the sense, probably if the CBD was smaller, when the CBD was smaller, okay. So this will be an area associated with like earlier industries which got established probably at the starting of the cities. Okay, when that city was evolved or developed, probably some of the industries which formed might be still there. Okay. Now, again, because this is where because it is full of bigger establishments, there will be again no houses, no residences. Okay, so one reason is it will be very polluted. Okay, and then there is possibility for, though there are no residences, there is possibility for what? Slums. Okay. There are possibility for slums because this is here the land value will be less because say for these activities, this is usually used for these activities. So commercial activities will not be there, residential activities will not be there. So the land value will be less and there will be vacant land here and there. So that may be used for like starting a slum. Okay. So this is zone in transition. So this zone CBD and the rest of the area will be separated by zone in transition. So next three are very, very easy. So next three is zone of independent workers. Zone of independent workers. Okay. So in this zone, primarily, this is a zone associated with people who are engaged in 1 and 2, working in 1 and 2. Okay. So manual labor, blue collar labor. Because they will try to stay closer to their workplaces. Okay, so they don't want to spend too much on transportation costs, so they will try to stay closer to the and this zone, because it is closer to the industries, polluted area, will be avoided by upper class groups. Because it's closer to the industries, they will be very choosy. So they will say, okay, it's very close to this area. There will be very sound noise pollution. There will be like lot of movement of big vehicles, there will be pollution. So they will avoid this area. So this will be associated with houses of low income, blue collar. Okay, so blue collar working class population. Now, next two zones are easy. Next is zone of better houses, zone of better residence. Okay, so probably so this is, you consider as lower class or lower middle class. So the middle class and upper middle class will opt for this type. Okay, so this will be having slightly better amenities. Okay, better amenities. Better residences or better houses. Okay, better services, better services in the sense, better schools, better shopping complexes, smaller shopping complex. Okay, probably okay, leave aside shopping complex. You have CBD. Okay, something maybe swimming pool or whatever. Okay, so there will be all these facilities. Now the richest group will go for the last place, commuters zone. Commuters zone. Okay, so this is the region associated with the richest people of the city. So why they are going to the outskirts? They want to have large area. They want to have bungalows. Okay, so have you noticed some of the Hollywood movies where the hero will be, or the hero in the whatever, the family will be staying at a very big house, and then they will be commuting to the city. Okay, so they probably they will drop their car and park it in a railway station. They will catch the train. Okay, they will go to the city. Okay, why they opt for the outskirts? Because they can spend money on commutation. Second, they want better facilities, larger spaces. Like they want large space, they want bungalows, they want open yards, backyard, front yard. Okay, maybe playground. Okay, common playgrounds and everything. Okay, so you might have seen many US movies with a lot of space and all. Okay, so like very wide, say roads with lawn on both sides. So this is the concept of commuter zone. So this is the concentric model. Okay, so we'll continue with the other models in the next class.